All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of Gentian's bi-weekly update. Glad you are here with us. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to be with us. I am Ken Flannery with Gentian Financial. Alongside of you, we're helping you to plan your retirement, live your retirements, and also lots of ways to give in retirement, if you will, as well. So plan it, live it, give it. Chris is down in Chicago right now with the top planning teams across the country, learning about new ways to enhance our planning that we're offering to you, and also to enhance your experience as a client of Gentian Financial as well. So he's down in Chicago doing that right now as well. So we got a great day here at last day of August. You know, here we are almost into September here. So what a great month. What a great year so far. And here we are about to start September, and Labor Day is upon us as well. So lots going on. Kids are going back to school. That's happening tomorrow for a lot of us. But Labor Day, 1887 in Oregon. Oregon was the first state to adopt the actual holiday of Labor Day. So Oregon kind of led the way there. Just want to recognize all of you. You guys, we're helping you plan your retirement, and you worked, and your contributions to the United States and your communities have been phenomenal over the years. We've been able to see that. So I want to thank you all for your contributions on Labor Day, even though some of you may be retired already, but at one point in time, you most likely were working. So thank you for that. I want to recognize the Gentian team as well. Thank you for all your hard work. At each and every one of you, you know who you are, to help our clients and help all of you watching right now to, make sure the planning is top notch and making sure that the experience you're having here is hopefully a good one. So that's our intent. And I want to thank you, the Gentian team, for providing that for our clients as well. So a little bit about today. We're going to go through an agenda here. We're going to go big, of course, as you know. Mike is going to come on as well and share his Mike's minute, but it's going to be a little longer than that. He's going to give a market update along with some planning ideas. Zach has a really, really interesting story he did this last weekend, and he wants to come on and share what he was doing this last weekend. And it really falls beautifully into the live it side of Gentian that we talk about, and also the give it side. So he's going to share his insights on what he did this last weekend as well. I'm going to jump on maybe in between all that and give you some planning ideas that I heard recently, some great questions that were proposed to me. And I want to share those findings with you as well. And then, of course, we have our very own Lisa Sheridan here at the end, is going to provide some updates on client service. So give you some insight there, and also tell you what's happening at Gentian as far as the Gentian happenings are going as well. So with that being said, we'll start off with Go Big. I'll go first here. I'll get out of the way with myself here. But kids are back in school tomorrow, first day. I know they're pumped up and a little nervous at the same time, and a lot of parents are pretty pumped up as well to get those kiddos back in school. But it's wonderful. Also, as you probably know, I have a love for the Northwoods. A lot of you share the love for the Northwoods as well. You tell me stories, and a lot of you talk about your kids skiing and grandkids skiing. I got my kids up on a ski boat and skiing this last weekend up in Saint Germain. So I was a proud dad to watch these kids go around the lake and then eventually bail, but but it was fun for a while. So with that being said, how about Zach? How about you? What's your go big for today?
Yeah, thank you, Ken. As always, have a lot of things to be grateful for. Really, it's about new connections for ourselves. We're working so hard behind the scenes to meet what we call centers of influence in various industries, whether it's real estate, estate planning attorneys, health insurance specialists, accountants, that can bring us information to better serve you. And yesterday morning, as an example, I spent the morning with 50 real estate agents in the area, just learning about what they're seeing in the housing industry, with the mortgage industry, where they see it going. Also, just different considerations to go there. And it's not to be proficient so we can answer all of those, but more so we can guide you to the right areas to do that, and people we trust. But really kind of what leads into what I wanted to share with you today too is I'm unbelievably grateful for the inspiration that each of you give me, in the sense of you're giving to your church, your time, different charities you work with. It's inspired me lately, and that's part of what I'm going to share. And I've had the unbelievable opportunity to meet some amazing people that have taken their very tough or potentially very traumatizing experiences and helping others. And I've had lunches with them, and also some volunteer opportunities recently that I'll share with you later today. But I'm unbelievably grateful for each of you and the inspiration that you give us on a daily basis, and everything that you're doing as well.
It's fantastic, Zach. Thank you very much. It would be interesting to hear what those real estate agents have to say. And and we do have awesome clients. That's no doubt about that one. So, Mike, how about you? What's your go big today?
Thanks, Ken. My go big is just, kind of reflecting on some of the things that my dad has taught me throughout the course of my life. I mean, so grateful for him. Truly, we all say it, we wouldn't be here without our parents. But the things that he has installed in me and really has helped me with throughout the course of my life. I mean, whether it's just like motivational things or, something as simple as teaching me how to work on a car. So it's kind of where this is coming from. Got to do a brake job this weekend. So all rotors and pads all the way across, so it's cool. I enjoy doing that stuff myself, and I'm looking forward to it. And I wouldn't be able to do that without him showing me how, at different points in my life. So grateful for my dad.
That's great, Mike. It's good to hear that your dad has such a big impact on your life, and we have a lot of car buffs as clients as well, so they probably can appreciate your what you're going to do this weekend. So, Lisa, how about you? What's your go big today?
Hey, Ken. Hey, everybody. Okay, so going off the back of Mike with family, as most people probably saw a couple of weeks ago, I was gone back to England to be with my family. My mom recently had a bout of breast cancer and a mastectomy. So I was grateful that I was able to go back and spend time with her after the surgery, and she's doing so well, and everything's looking good so far. So it was just great to have the opportunity to be able to utilize and go back and be with her and then make sure everything's okay. I do have siblings, but you just need to be there for a little while and share the time with her. So she was very grateful for me. And as I was grateful that everything went well, and she's doing really well. So I'm grateful for my mom. So there you go. Thank you.
Lisa, very good. I know how much your family means to you, and glad mom is doing really good. So good to hear all that. So a lot going on in the markets right now. Markets are jumping all over the place, as we've kind of expected right now, with all the headlines that are coming out right now. But again, very much planning based, stick to the plan. Everything is going to be okay. It's not easy to go through these times. It's not fun to go through these times, but they are necessary to get to a better place at some point in time in the future. So usually, patience is a key to all this, and especially the faith, patience, and discipline that we talk about. So with that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Mike. But before I do that, with the kids going back to school, as you know, Chris likes to tell a few jokes. I'm going to take a stab at one here. With the kids going back to school, the chemistry teacher was asking my daughter, Adriana, what is the chemical formula for water? And she said, HIJKLMNO. And the teacher's like, what are you talking about? She said, well, it's H2O, right? H2O. Anyways, probably not as good as Chris on that one, but hey, I took a stab at it. So anyways, I'm going to bring Mike on here. Mike's Minute. Let's hear about what's going on in the markets. What are the markets doing these days? What categories are doing what? I'd like to hear what's going on, Mike.
Sounds great, Ken. You gotta give me a second with the H2O joke. Okay, so anyways, the markets, like Ken said, they've been volatile. That's what we've expected this year with everything kind of going on. A little bit of a pullback since last time that we spoke. Year to date, the S&P 500 is down 16.37%. And when I say down, it's always temporary, up and down, both temporary. The only things for certain is that we know this is either going to go up or down or stay the same. So the Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 12.51% year to date. NASDAQ down 24.05% year to date. And then the Russell 2000, the growth side of the Russell 2000 is down 22.23%, with value being down 12.61%, which is a great example why we own both. International side of things down 19.87%, and emerging markets, which is the more aggressive, those sort of international countries, down 19.30%. On the fixed income side, when we take a look at the Treasury, the 6-month Treasury right now is at 3.31%, 1 year 3.48%, 5 year 3.27%, and the 10 year is 3.11%. So it's kind of how the markets are moving year to date, and with fixed income. But, on the other side of things, we kind of want to talk about some of the things that are going on, with legislation. And I know all of you probably expected me to talk about student loans today, which I will. But first, I just kind of want to talk about some of the things that were passed since we last spoke. One of those being the Inflation Reduction Act. that was passed into law actually the same day that we had the discussion regarding it. Now, as everybody also knows, all of these proposals are pretty much clear as mud. And there's probably been changes within just the amount of time that I've spoken about them. And when we touched on the proposal to increase the 1 year monthly maximum or yearly maximum for retirement plan contributions, that is actually part of the Retirement Protection Act. So that was not passed into law yet. That's a proposal that we're going to continue watching. And if that comes to fruition, we will absolutely bring those planning ideas to you at that time. But so the big news, President Biden came out and finally gave, a little bit of clarity on what was going to happen with student loan relief. There's been a lot of speculation throughout the last couple of years since, payments have been paused. But what he came out and said is that there's going to be $10,000 in federal student loan relief for everyone who is earning less than $125,000 per year single or $250,000 per year married filing jointly. Those income levels represent the top 5% of income owners. So anybody who is underneath that will have the opportunity to up to $10,000 in federal student loan relief. Up to $20,000 is available for recipients of Pell Grants. This is typically going to be lower income households, with the majority being under about $60,000 of household income. And then the other part of it is that the payment, the pause on repayment has been extended through December 31st of 2022. So anybody with federal student loans should be prepared to start those repayments coming next year. There were a couple other parts, a couple proposals and ideas that are more just sort of him putting these things out there to try to make a difference in how, this problem with student debt sort of happened. And one of the proposals is that the new income-based repayment, which has historically been either 10 to 20% based on the program, there will be one available for 5% of discretionary income, which will be available to those who, fall in that closer to the poverty level. And that will just make things a little bit more affordable for them. So I think that's a good change. We'll see, these are proposals. We'll see what happens with that going forward. They also want to continue fixing the public service loan forgiveness to make sure that the credits are going to the right people. And just a reminder, the waiver to get credits that you previously did not qualify for public service loan forgiveness is through October. So those who qualify need to apply between now and then. Continue to remind everybody on that, and looking forward to hearing a little bit more about all of this, some of the clarity, some of the effects that it'll have on the market, and just some of that forgiveness in general. So back to you, Ken.
Good stuff, Mike. I appreciate that on the planning side. Yeah, some of these rules and regulations that come out are, some people agree with them, some people don't. I hear it across the board when I'm in the community, and we're not here to judge the rules. We're here to just plan around what the rules are. And so if this is your scenario and you like to take this path, we certainly will help you out, and we understand what it all means for you guys. So. Just like the health insurance plan as well. So if it's a path you want to take, we certainly will help you out as well. So no, good stuff, Mike. We really appreciate that. I'm going to bring Zach on next here. He has a great story, what he did last weekend in the community, and it really speaks a lot to the live it and give it side of Gentian Financial, like I mentioned before. And so, Zach, if you don't mind coming on and sharing your story of what happened last weekend, I'm sure everyone will love to hear about it.
Yeah, thank you, Ken. I really appreciate it and the opportunity to share. And real quickly, before I do, regarding the student loans, just a real quick shout out to Mike. Mike over the years has helped a lot of our clients' children and grandchildren go through these education decisions with loans. And last year he helped a few of them actually refinance their 7, 6, 7, 8, 9% student loans to down to 2%. Kind of held some money back on the side, on the federal side, just in case they gave relief instead of paying those down. And they are extremely happy right now. So tremendous planning by Mike, and we love to see those when those come to fruition. But switching gears just a little bit, I'll try to keep this brief just because I'm extremely passionate about this side of what we do and just in the personal life in general. But you guys have heard us talk about True Wealth in some form, or have gone through it with us either at a seminar, or Chris has brought it up many, many times. But essentially, True Wealth is really just a tool to help us live a more meaningful, joyful life, right? So True Wealth has 4 separate quadrants. We have our financial assets, our core assets, our experience assets, and our contribution assets. We are introduced to you guys through our financial assets. We absolutely love optimizing your guys' scenario there, whether it's with estate planning items, with legacy planning, with just saving money on taxes on a year-to-year basis, getting you to and through retirement. But what we've found over time, and what research has shown, is that 97% of wealth actually doesn't make it through the third generation, right? So when we look at that, we wanted to join kind of a Lee Brower, a mentor of ours, kind of brought up true wealth in the sense of what are your core assets? Generally, people respond your faith, your family, your health, things that you would never trade for more money. And then we ask the question, is there anything that has occurred in your life that has helped shape who you are? Good things, bad things, education, trauma, love, whatever the case may be. Those are your experience assets. And the one that we'll touch a little bit more on today is the contribution assets. That research has really shown that what brings humans the most joy in our lives is contributing to the lives of others in some form. And what can we give when it comes to giving to others? And we can give gratitude, whether it's the thank you, the respect type gratitude. We can give appreciation, where we literally elevate somebody or a scenario to show our gratitude, or through generosity. And if we get to the generosity form of gratitude, we can really give an acronym, which we say our heart, which is hope, energy, attention, your resources, or your time. So you can give those in many different forms. But really what I wanted to share is I am kind of part of the Go Big of how much you guys inspire me through the resources that you give, the time that you give, those experiences that you share with us. I've wanted to volunteer in some form since I moved to Milwaukee almost 5 years ago now. And I either never had the courage, I never made it a priority, or just made up excuses to not do it. And I'm part of a bunch of different fitness communities downtown, and we really started to talk about these things, and we started doing an active service about 2 months ago. And we went to the Kinship Community Food Center, and we went in there and we were the bag runners for people with getting their groceries for the month. Sometimes they'd be collecting for just themselves. I helped a lady one day that was collecting for 8 mouths to feed at home, right? So we went around carrying these bags. We helped out the Kinship Community Food Center, an excellent organization here in Milwaukee. And I went there thinking I was going to be helping people, and I left realizing that they helped me, right? So it was so profound to me that I now spearhead once a month for anyone in the gym communities or the fitness communities, or anyone here at the office, or any of my friends to join me either at Kinship or other local organizations. And this last one was last Saturday, and just wanted to share a couple stories from that. But I was helping this gentleman named Frank, super positive attitude, on disability, unable to work. And right away, he's like, I tell everyone I meet that I'm messed up from head to toe. And he was just very energetic and grateful and positive with every single person in there, especially with me. I'm carrying all these bags. I've been training for that my entire life, the one trip grocery bags from the car when you're dropping the eggs on the ground and the milk and all that stuff. But I'm like, no, Frank, I'm all good. I got this for you. And we get to the end, I help him up the stairs with his cart. I was like, Frank, you know what? I appreciate so much your gratitude to these people and how positive you are. That was such a huge inspiration to me. And he looked at me and he had tears in his eyes. And he said, the only thing I have is my positivity. I have to give it. It's the only thing I can give to other people, right? So how profound is that we get in our own ways and own thoughts, and someone is just so thankful to give their positivity, right? And then they really took us aside at the end of the day, all the volunteers, and one of the leaders there really shared different things in the community and who we really serve, and talked about people on fixed income, unemployed, underpaid, and a lot of it was kids as well, and really brought us through kind of unemployment. Unemployment right now, if we were to ask you, it's probably 3.5%, 3.7, somewhere around there recently. Asking you guys a question, do any of you remember what it was during the Great Depression? It was around 25%, roughly. Looking at the data for that, jobless rate much higher during that time. If you met anyone during the Great Depression or lived it yourself, you knew you were in the Great Depression, right? Or most recently in the pandemic, you knew that we were in a pandemic, right? We had to wear masks. We had to go through that in others. There's certain demographics in our city that have a higher unemployment and jobless rate than we had during the Great Depression. And I did not know about it until Saturday. So it was extremely inspiring, and it was more so on the the falling to the level of systems. I've been extremely blessed, and the system we have in the United States, or what I grew up with, is at a much higher level than where some people start out as. And the analogy that they gave that stuck with me tremendously is, how can we be a bridge from our system to other systems growing up? And they gave the example that 50, 60, 70, I forget exactly what the percentage was of the people they served there was kids, but I didn't see any kids there really besides a few at the Kinship Community Food Center. And they said that they actually deliver to different areas in Milwaukee to those. And the analogy he gave and the story he gave is that when you walk in, do you think they grab all the groceries that they're bringing in and put it into the cupboard or the fridge or the pantry like a lot of us have the opportunity to do? No, they grab it and they wolf it down. That's unbelievably impactful. And the key is not to feel guilty for all of this. It's just, how can we be the bridge to others in our community in some form? That if we're extremely blessed and have abundance flowing into us, how can we have it flow out of us in some form? I'm extremely grateful for Chris, Ken, our team, each of you guys in our conversations to really inspire that inside of me. And really my challenge for you, and the whole point of sharing this, is how can you utilize your amazing gifts, your talents, your unique abilities, whether you're retired, whether you're still working, to be able to give to the lives of others in some form. It may be through your kids and grandkids, through within your family, maybe your community. We have someone even on the call today that used her amazing gifts that she developed during her career to help local business that is just starting out, that can't afford marketing, to give them pamphlets and brochures. And those things are unbelievably inspiring to me. So really that challenge is to be creative in retirement, or if you're still working, how can you bring those to the community to help others? So I appreciate the opportunity to share for you guys listening. And if you're ever interested in those type of opportunities, or have those where you'd like 5 to 15 people that are in decently good shape to be able to help out in some form, I'd be happy to bring them along too. So with that, I'll pass it back to you, Ken.
Wow, Zach, that's really great. I'm glad you did that, and the impact that you shared, the impact that you felt by all that. I mean, that's really phenomenal. And as a lot of you know, you shared. I mean, we can think of 50 to 100 stories like that you all share with us, and that's really what it's all about. You know, whether it's through your kids, like Zach mentioned, through coaching, through food pantries, through whatever the case may be. Just offering that helping hand, that positivity can go a long way for someone who's not getting that. So really appreciate that, Zach. Thank you so much. You're a great guy. And I know a lot of people love you. So with that being said, I mean, how do we transition to the markets after that, right? That was pretty deep and pretty profound. So with that being said, though, there are a few questions I've been getting in meetings here, and they've been very good. And, you know, some of you have already lived this, so you probably could come on the webinar and maybe share your own insight to all this because you're living through it. But one of the questions I got were, what are some of the mistakes that a retiree makes early on in retirement? And financially, it is the wanting to go more conservative with their money. That is the one thing that we really work hard on our retirees to really say, okay, everybody wants to hold it close to their chest and their vest, and we totally get why. It makes sense. You're leaving one of your greatest paying jobs you've ever had in your whole entire life, probably leaving at the pinnacle of it all, only to walk away from that and now create income either from Social Security, a pension if we're lucky, and also come from our investments. And so the natural tendency is to keep it close and want to go a little more conservative. And so that going more conservative increases our retirement risk, believe it or not, because if we are going to enjoy a 20, 30, maybe even a 40, 50 year retirement, we need to make sure that our money keeps up with what's going on. Right now we have, astronomically high inflation right now, right? But when we look at the averages and we look over a long period of time, it will most likely settle down at some point in time. But we need our assets to keep up with the standard of living. Retirement is nothing more than having our income increase in retirement over time rather than decrease. And the only way to do that is to have a proper balance of great iconic companies in your portfolio, which are stocks, and also have some safety built in as well for income as well. So it's a combination there. There is a fine line, I always say, with that. There is some magic to what we do here as far as why we do it and how we do it. But that one is the financial side. The other one is the lifestyle side. What I've noticed here, and a lot of you can share this with me, is there's a honeymoon phase to retirement. You decompress, you have fun, maybe put your toes in the sand somewhere and just take a deep breath from 30 or 40 years of working. After that honeymoon phase goes away and the honeydew list starts to decrease, then what happens? And that's a pivotal moment for a retiree. And that's why we talk a lot about the live it side of retirement. We can help you plan it. A lot of you have a good handle on that. But when it comes to live it, some retirees are really good at retirement. Some are not so good. But some of it takes training, some of it takes coaching, and that lifestyle piece is really a key to retirement, because we've seen a lot of retirees thrive in retirement. We've also seen some not do so well. And so a lot of it comes down to purpose, a lot of it comes down to passion, a lot of it comes down to, just trying to step away from our identity, which was work for a long period of time. So those are the two that I come across, and a lot of you could share some insight. If you have any insight, email us to what you think is. We've done a couple of retiree workshops, like pre-retirement workshops, where a couple of you've gone up and you've been panelists before, and we appreciate your insight there. So if you could help another retiree, kind of like what Zach is talking about, if there's a way that you could give your feelings and your experience with retirement, that we would love to share that with someone who is thinking about retiring as well. So thank you all for that. The other piece that I've seen here, this is a decent one here. And I think this is one really comes down to pre-retirees. So maybe some of you on the call are already retired, but you can help someone who's getting ready to retire. And if there's an age difference of when someone's going to retire, or a year difference, let's just say one significant other is going to retire 5 years sooner than someone else, right? We need to understand access to money is really key to retirement planning and income planning. And a lot of times what we find out is that if we just shift some of the contributions, let's say both people are making contributions to their 401ks at work, but one spouse is going to retire 5 years earlier based on whatever circumstance we're talking about. Well, sometimes it makes sense to shift some of those contributions to the person who is going to have access to the money first without any penalties. And so we just try to figure out, why are we saving in what accounts and for what reason? Those are big questions that we tend to answer here. So those are really some of the big ones. Paying extra on a mortgage right now, something to consider if you do have a mortgage. A lot of you have already paid this off, which is fantastic. But if we're still paying off a mortgage, do we pay more at a lower interest rate? Do we not pay more? What's the goal of paying off the house sooner than later? What does that mean for retirement income if we don't pay it off faster? So there's a lot of moving pieces to these questions that we get on a very, very frequent and daily basis here. So again, I know a lot of you have a good handle on it, but some of you who have those questions, we are here for you, either big or small. We're here to help you out. So with that being said, we certainly want to pass it over to our very own Lisa Sheridan, and she's going to provide us with some client service updates, and also to let us know what's happening at Gentian Financial with the Gentian happenings. Lisa.
Thanks, Ken. Okay, so September already, crazy. I know Ken mentioned earlier, the 31st, last day of summer, almost, so crazy though. So we have a lot going on in September. So I just wanted to reach out and let you know on September the 5th, our markets and offices are closed for Labor Day, as you all know. So we will be in observance of Labor Day for September the 5th. On Wednesday, September the 7th, between 1 and 3 p.m., just a couple of hours in the afternoon, we will be focused on some professional development. So we will not be answering the phones or emails in those 2 hours, but we will get back to you if you leave any messages, or if there's anything urgent, just call Raymond James. And then the September the 11th, and a lot of you on here and a lot of our clients, it's Happy Grandparents' Day. So that's a big day, September the 11th. And then on the 14th, we have our next Gentian bi-weekly update. So that's 2 weeks from today. And also September the 14th is our September birthday club. So anyone who has a birthday in September, please, you probably had an invite sent out, so please respond and definitely come out to that. While it's still nice, we have an inside outside. It will be starting at 11 this time. I think last month it was noon, but this time it's at 11. So make a note of that, and we'd love to see you and hang out with you all the birthday people. On Wednesday, September the 21st, again, we'll have limited office availability due to us doing some professional development on that day. And that will be between 10 and 4. Roughly. So we'll, work out getting to you in the morning, and then we'll be available when we have breaks, and then after that. But if there's anything urgent, please call Raymond James again. And then Thursday, September the 22nd, we have our book club recalibration, 9:30 a.m. via Zoom. Now, this is everyone who did the Love Your Enemies book with Chris back in, I believe it was in June that we did that. So that's a recalibration of that book. So please sign up for that. And then again, Wednesday, September the 28th, we have another Gentian biweekly update. So this is covering virtually the whole of September. So, and then on the 28th at 10 a.m., we have our Ladies and Gentian, which is our ladies virtual gathering. And then we have a very special guest speaker, which is Mr. Doty himself. So that'll be exciting this time. So please join us on that one. It's always fun to get Chris on the line. So just carve out about 5 hours of your day for that one. So, so everyone who knows Chris knows that. Also, I'm just going to run into October for a little because we have our fall forums coming up. And the Appleton Fall Forum is at 11 a.m. on October the 4th, and that's at Budamore Country Club. We had that live last year. It was a wonderful space to have this event, so please sign up for that. And October the 6th, which is a Thursday, is our Milwaukee Fall Forum, and that's at Blue Mound Country Club, which we always have it there. So it's still another one to sign up for. So that's coming up in October, and that's crazy how quick that will come. But those are all our happenings for September. And then for operations side, as you saw, there's a lot of things going on with Gentian and what's coming up. So if you have any changes to your phone number, to your email or address, please, I know we're not at the top of the list when you move in or you've changed something or you're changing anything, but please let us know and update your emails, your phone numbers and mailing addresses, so then we can get all this. You'll not miss out on any of this information that gets sent out to you. So, and it's always a good thing to keep your accounts up to date with that information. So that's just my little tidbit on the operations side. And just to go out, I know you like the dad jokes, Ken, so I'm going to do a mom joke here. Well, I did kind of have a joke about pizza, but it was too cheesy, so.
Oh yes, Lisa. Oh yes, very good, very good. Well done. Nice mom joke. We appreciate that. So thank you for the effort. And wow, there's a lot going on in September here at Gentian. So tune into us, and we're here for you. You're at the top of our list. Always, we think about you very often and a lot of how we can enhance your experience with us and how we can spend time together. So you're at the top of our list, and we just want to say thank you for being a client of Gentian Financial. We appreciate you. We appreciate everything that you've done for our team and ourselves as well. We appreciate your introductions to the people that you care about, family members, coworkers, friends, family, neighbors. We appreciate all of that. We are here because of you. So we appreciate you very much. And at the end of the day, we are Gentian Financial. We are here to help you plan your retirement, live it, and then also give it. So we're here for you, big or small. Tap into us, call us, email us, big or small. Like I said, we're here for you if you need us. And with that being said, have a lovely last day of August and hope your September is fantastic.